Hi, this is 𝗖𝗶𝗲𝗆, and welcome to another episode of the 𝗖𝗹𝗶𝗲 Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you can start or scale your digital marketing agency. Now, if you are watching this episode outside of our Facebook group, make sure to find the link above or below this video, or go to 𝗖𝗹𝗶𝗲mastermind.com, especially if you are in the agency space. Now, with that out of the way, I have a very special guest joining me all the way from Knoxville, Tennessee. His name is Ryan Verhulst, and he is the founder of Revamp. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Abul. Big fan.
Thank you very much for joining me, and I appreciate your kind comment. Now, for the people who don't know who you are, how about a little bit of an introduction?
All right, a little bit of introduction. All right, so as Abul said, I am the founder of my own digital marketing agency. It is Revamp Digital Marketing. That's not the only thing I do, though. I do also pride myself in being able to help other digital marketers with their client acquisition. You know, if you're just starting out, help you get your first client, or if you have seen a little bit of progress, you know, help you reach that next level, you know, get to 5 or 6 clients a month.
And like before you started your agency, or before you kind of started helping other agency owners, what were you doing before that?
Okay, so with this question, I think I'm going to have to go back a little far to when I was about 19 years old. So when I was 19, I got my first ever sales job. It was midsummer, you know, between college semesters, and I ended up selling car wash memberships, just, you know, 30 hours a week. And I did that for probably around a month before I said, all right, it's time for me to get bigger. You know, I used that as a little platform to kind of build my confidence and realize, hey, I can make sales. You don't have to be some extravagant person. So after that, moving on from, you know, car wash memberships, I went to sell pest control door to door. So I was knocking doors every day in the Nashville heat, getting rejected about 30 to 50 times a day. And honestly, that's kind of the job that made me realize that you need some skill to be successful in the sales world. And after that, it was kind of just like a summer internship for that one. So I came back to college and just continued with my studies, economics, stuff like that. And then eventually I got to the point where I was like, all right, I want to get another sales job. So I found this insurance company. They were selling employee benefits, you know, business to business. So I already got the door to door. So in the consumer world. And now I get the experience of going B2B. But I do this all in person, and this is all before the pandemic too. So right. I really think like my skills in the digital world all came from what I've been able to learn, like in real life, in person, face to face. So I do this insurance job for like 4 months before I realize, dang, this kind of sucks. Like, this isn't really something that I think people need, and I don't believe in the product. So got out of that, then went back to college again. So I keep taking these breaks in between my jobs, but overall I'm still picking up experience in sales. And eventually I get to this point where I'm like, all right, college is not taking me anywhere that I'm enjoying. I don't want to be some market analyst in economics for the next 40 years of my life. So I end up dropping out and I go get just a factory job, and I end up honestly spending more than I'm making, and I just go completely broke for like 2 months. End up living out of my car for like 2 months until my mom found out, and she's like, all right, Go move in with your grandpa, dude. So my pride like kept me from actually making any progress in my life for that time. But I think my journey into the digital space started when I just got so broke that I said, I just went to Google, I typed in, how do I make money online? And that was about December 2019. So that was after like my 2-month span of just being really, really broke and not doing anything for myself. And from there, I started getting into affiliate marketing, learning how you can use, you know, paid traffic to sell other people's stuff to make money on the internet. And I did that for about 2 months and made some really good money. I turned like $300 into $3,000 into like $6,000. Nice. And then, yeah, thank you. And then I realized, you know, I could be doing this for other people too. And I figured out how you start an online digital marketing agency. And then I started doing that. And I think I think it's really the skills that I learned in person that allowed me to be able to actually find any kind of success with starting an agency. Because I mean, if you can't build a personal connection with someone, you're never going to be able to make a sale. And if you can't sell your own product first, you could never expect somebody else to do that for you. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely.
I got you. So that's how I got into the digital marketing space. It pretty much all started with being so broke that I just looked up how to make money online.
Now that's a better introduction than the original one you gave me, because everybody has some sort of a story in terms of how they came into the space rather, whether it was through working in an agency or picking up other skills. Now you mentioned obviously you were doing some other sales jobs, and you've done face-to-face selling and then B2B selling, and I'm sure you picked up transferable skills, which obviously help when you're trying to pick up clients for your agency, or you're trying to advise someone on how they should be picking up clients for their agencies. Now, I know the topic that we're going to cover today is client acquisition. So I suppose first question to you is, where do you find most digital marketing agency owners to get stuck when they are trying to sign new clients?
All right. I think most of them are just ending up getting left on red most of the time, because when you're selling digitally, you've got to hook somebody on the first message pretty much, or you just have to come off as not a salesman. What I see most people doing is they send like these hunting messages where they just send them to 1,000 people a day. And they're like, hey, my name is Ryan, and I'm doing this case study where I'm trying to get you more sales. Would you be interested in that? And it's just a very sales pitchy message. If I receive a message like that, I'm just going to leave you on red, completely honest. So my advice is you need to start a conversation with somebody. Like, for example, when I went to sell pest control door to door or employee benefits to some business owner face to face, if I walk in and tell them I'm going to sell them something right away, I'm getting kicked out. Like, there's no question about it. So you need to build a dialogue, build conversation, and become this person's friend. I'm sure like a lot of your listeners have probably heard of this thing where people buy when they know you, like you, and trust you. They got to know you. You know, you have to be a person to them, not just a salesman. So what I encourage people to do is give a nice little compliment. First message, if you're going through the DMs, like, hey, I've seen your content. Great work. I love what you're doing. And use emojis. People love emojis. If you do that, you come off as like a real person. And that's what I think you need to do. If someone sees you as a person more than they see you as a salesman, you're going to have a much better opportunity to build a relationship with that person.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of kind of prospecting methods, you know, because there's so many people trying to do cold emails, cold calling, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all of that, you know, which platform do you think works best when you're trying to find your next client?
It definitely all depends on your niche. Now, I like e-commerce clients, so what I do is I go directly on Facebook and Instagram, and I go through the DMs that way. However, I know a lot of people are in like the HVAC space, or they want to work with salons or lawyers, stuff like that. It's a great place for, like, you can get a great leads using the LinkedIn Sales Navigator, because it'll just connect you with like 50 to 100 random business owners a month that meet your criteria. But for me in e-commerce, I like to go directly to these stores' pages. You know, I'll see them running an ad, I'll get targeted with it, and then I'll go check out their profile. And if I think I can make money for them, I'm going to like all their posts, I'm going to comment on some of them, and then I'm going to slide in their DMs the exact way I said before. Just give them a nice little compliment. And if they start engaging with me and we get a nice little dialogue going, then I can think about making a sale. But until I'm like this person's friend, or we know each other and trust each other at least, I'm not going to try to sell anything before that.
Mm-hmm. And how, I mean, what percentage of the messages on Facebook and Instagram are actually being picked up by the owners of the business rather than like an intern or the receptionist or some other gatekeeper?
So I don't really think it matters who picks up, as long as you type to one person the entire time. And if you build that dialogue, eventually this gatekeeper might say, hey boss, you might want to check this out. They're telling me some really good information. I think you might like it, want to hear it. So just write to one person, write like you're talking to the owner no matter what. even if it's not them. That information might get carried to them at some point, and that's all the stuff you wanted to tell them anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the off chance that they're going to get that information, just talk like you were talking to them the whole time.
That makes sense. And in terms of, I suppose, KPIs and numbers, how many messages does someone need to send before they start seeing any results?
So I went like 2 months without seeing any results, and I sent probably like 100 a day. But if something's not working, you need to change up what you're doing. You know, what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. I have a different face. You know, I seem kind of innocent, like this little kid with plain white hair, pretty much. Everyone's got their thing. I think sending about 50 to 60 to 70 a day, you're going to see results. You know, maybe 5 to 10 clients a month, but you just need to keep changing up the way you're messaging people until you start getting replies. When you start getting, I think, 10 conversations a day, then you can think about making, you know, that's 2 to 3 sales a week, right? I think a 20 to 30% conversion rate on people that actually engage with you could be considered pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you said you're sending 100 messages a day for 2 months. That's like 6,000 messages that you have sent. And before you saw any results, what do you think you're doing wrong for those 2 months?
Honestly, it may be a lack of credibility. You know, I was just starting out on Instagram with a low follower count, few posts. And I think as I've made more posts and learned to just engage more with people's profiles before I slide in their DMs, that's made a huge difference to me. And then sometimes it's just random. You know, some people that have like 13,000 followers aren't going to see your message all the time, and they might see it like 2 months from now. I've definitely had like huge accounts that I've message me like 3 months later, rather than, you know, when I was actually trying to engage with them and do some business. And, you know, they're slower for sure, but you just got to keep going at it. I mean, that 6,000 messages that I sent definitely wasn't in vain. It was just practice.
Right. Okay. That's a great way to look at it. And, you know, I think you've touched upon a very important point there, and that is of mindset. I find that too many people give up too quickly. You know, so when you were sending those messages, what kept you going and not giving up?
I think it's more of this intrinsic value. I was telling myself, I don't want to be the guy that did this for 2 months and then quit right before he got successful. Because you see all these digital marketers online, they tell their 1 year story, and it's like, oh, I've hit $200,000 a month now. And you might be stuck at 0 for the past 2 months like I was, and just be like, this is complete hot trash. There's no way this is real. I did not want to be that guy that's missing out on all of that internet money just because I gave up that early, just a month early. 1 more month and you're going to make as much as you want. I did not want to be that guy.
And that's what kept you going, right? I mean, when you were obviously kind of not breaking through, I suppose, did you have people and you know, friends, family, partners try to dissuade you, tell you to go get a job, become an analyst, you know, earn a real salary?
Yes, 100%. I had so many people tell me that what I'm doing is like BS, and just saying there's no way it works. I'm just tricking people online. They said, you're not going to blow up on social media, which isn't really the important thing. Like, I don't even want to blow up. They said that all kinds of stuff. Like, they've even said, I don't believe in you. I don't believe you can make it happen. They were that specific, and just said,
Wow.
It's you. I don't believe, like, it's not possible. I don't believe you're going to do it. And I think the only way I could deal with that is just removing those people from my life. I hate to be that cold about it, but I couldn't have that negativity in my life. If I was going to become the person I wanted to be, I couldn't listen to the advice of people that didn't have the life that I want.
Mm-hmm. And when you're closing your clients, do you do it over the phone? Do you do it through Messenger? You know, what does your process look like?
Yep. So definitely starts in the DMs, and then the final interactions before like a deal is closed is either going to be Zoom, call, FaceTime, pretty much anything. But I start off just, once you get a reply, that's the first step. You know, create a dialogue. Then you move into your qualification step. You say, if you want to get results like this, that I'm trying to help people get, you know, 200 extra sales a month, it might require you hire somebody between like 1 and 2K a month. Do you think you could swing that? Or to get these kind of results might take like 21 days to 60 days. Do you think you can handle that? You know, then you got that qualification step. If everything goes smoothly there, then I move into sending a Loom video. I don't know if you've heard of Loom,
Yeah.
but it's just screen recording software. And this is basically where I do my whole sales pitch. You know, I'll start off on their social media profile or their website, wherever I've found them. And then I'll, you know, give a quick compliment about their page, just being me, being real and talking like I was just building a conversation in person. Then I'll show some results of people I've worked with, just literally bringing up screenshots and pulling up their websites on that Loom video. And then I will go to draw something. I'll just draw a little T-chart and say, this is you, this is us, this is you without us, and this is you with us. And that'll be like my whole little sales pitch. It'll be like a 5-minute video. Close it off and then send it to them. If they like it, then I move into a phone call or Zoom call or FaceTime or whatever it is, where I'll eventually get into the closing. If they don't like it, I'll answer some questions, yada, yada, and then I'll save them as a hot lead for another time. Because if you've seen like the results that a good digital marketing agency is going to get, there's no way you're going to hate it. I'm sorry to say it.
No, it's true. That's absolutely true. And I suppose when you do kind of go for the kill, how do you determine your pricing structure?
I've got it all set, you know, in advance. I've put together a few different packages. I've put together 4 different social media packages based on like what the client's budget is, which
Right.
I need them to tell me because I'm not just going to assume. So I've got to work that out of them. And then I've got 3 different Google Ads packages, 2 different website development packages. I've got a chat bot that I can put on people's websites. Pretty much I just put together this whole Google Doc that I send to people right before the call, saying how much everything is and what kind of different stuff I offer. So I'm hoping that when I get on the call, they've already looked at that and we're like, hey, I know where I want to start. And then I can actually build a conversation off of their buying questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And in terms of the people that are coming through your funnel, how many of them convert after they get your Loom video or they jump on a call with you?
After the Loom video, I'd say it's close to like 40%, to be honest.
Okay.
The biggest part is getting a reply with, you know, a low follower count. I think I've got like just under 800 on Instagram. And when people look at that and they've got like 13K versus your 800, they're like, move on. This is irrelevant. So once I get a reply and actually get some conversation going, I think it's probably close to 40%.
Right. Okay. That's really good. Now, in terms of like working with niches within the e-com space, are you working with certain types of clients, or do you kind of not differentiate between them?
I don't differentiate, but I will say I have a tendency to do better with women's clothing. I don't know why, they just respond better to me. I think it's because I got a cute face, to be honest. Women's boutiques are definitely the thing that I tend to close the most of, and the thing I see the best results on are honestly just niche products that I don't see a lot of. Like, I'll use this for an example. I worked with this one company that was selling these really extravagant watches. They were really colorful, and I'd never seen something that just caught my eye so much in a watch form, and they sold a ton. So other than women's boutiques, I'd say, you know, the people that get the best results with me are definitely just niche products that nobody sees.
And in terms of, I suppose, the clients that you're able to deliver results for, do you need them to have some sort of an online presence? Do you need them to be making a certain level of sales before they kind of can really benefit from your service? or do you also work with brands that are just starting up?
I do work with people that are just starting up, but not if I don't think that I can deliver for them. If I think that we're going to go 1 or 2 months and they're not going to see any results from what I've been doing, I'm not going to try to sell them anything, because at the end of the day, I don't want an unhappy customer, or I don't want to build a terrible relationship. That's just going to hurt me in the long run. So, sorry, I lost the second half of the question.
No, that is fine. I mean, so when you're kind of determining, obviously, if you can help them or not, what are some of the key indicators for you that actually this person is a great fit and I can deliver results for them?
Okay, so I look for, is it visually appealing? Does it catch my eye for more than like 10 seconds? Would I buy it, or would my grandma buy it? That's the thing. So I don't want to work with anybody that I would be ashamed to tell my grandmother about, you know?
Right.
And I think if I would buy it, then other people would buy it. And if it catches my eye, then it definitely has the capability to work on social media. Other than that, I do want to, you know, talk to people about how much have you sold in the past month or 2 months. And I want to see if it is a viable business. Like if you've sold 1 or 2 t-shirts in the past 2 months, but you've been posting every single day and you've got high engagement on your social media, that doesn't sound like something I'd want to invest myself in, because it just doesn't seem like people are buying. You know, if the consumers aren't going to buy and they're already seeing your product a lot, there's not a lot I can do about that. You know, I can help you with your marketing strategies, but I can't just magically turn your business into one that people are going to buy from.
No, that makes absolute sense. So, I mean, we're very quickly running out of time now. I've got so many questions that I can direct your way. For someone who is getting started right now, what's I suppose, the biggest learning from your journey that you think would be valuable for them?
You have to get started, and you have to absolutely stop caring about what everyone else says. You know, when you first start out, it's going to look like you're not making any results, and that's because you're not going to. I went 2 months making absolutely $0, right? And when I started off my journey into the digital space, I was flat broke, like dead broke, living out of a car, man. If I can do this, you can do it. It's that simple. You just have to get started, and you have to completely disregard all of the negativity that anyone throws your way, because that's all the world's going to do. And nobody is going to do this for you. You have to do it for yourself.
Awesome. I think that's a great tip there, that many people want to get started in this business and they keep on reading and they keep on watching YouTube videos and doing courses and all of that. They do everything but apart from getting started. And you know, you're not going to learn to ride a bike until you get on the bike, fall over, bang your head a couple of times. Well, maybe not your head, but you need to get a couple of scratches, you know, before you become proficient at riding a bike. On that note, Ryan, thank you very much for your time.
Hey, thank you for having me, Abul. Appreciate it.